Namaste and welcome to Dragonfly Cookery and Knives. I'm kind of stooping down so I can stay in the picture when I'm introducing this next video. I brought it closer to the stump so that way we can do some notching and maybe some feather sticks with these, at least do some feathers on this stick with each of the kukris and see how they do for close-up detail. So on that note, you're going to see me stand up and you'll lose my face for a while, but hopefully you'll be able to see how each of these kukris will do this task on the stump here. So to start off with, we're going to go with Gurkha Kukri by Cold Steel, which is this kukri right here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go first just start trying to do some feathers. Now I'm using my thumb. Index finger is back behind the guard here, maybe coming up a little bit ahead because there's a little flat area here where with the Cold Steel Plus you won't have that ability to do because that part protrudes. And I did look at the pictures of it, and the cutting edge is right up to here, so you really can't index around it without the fear of cutting your finger. So you have to keep your finger behind that guard. So with that, to keep it realistic for what is actually being in the market and available to you guys, I'm putting my finger where this the hand guard begins for this kukri, and with my thumb on the top, and I'm just doing some light push cuts and see if I can get some curls going here. Now, granted, you know, you can be using a real good bushcraft knife that's going to do a better job for you than a large blade will. But what I want to try to do is demonstrate that in a pinch, if you had just a kukri and one of these kukris, you can get some curls, you can get some feathers going. So with some patience and with learning the use of your tool, letting this tool become very familiar to you, you'll know how to apply the pressure, how to approach this material with a heavier or larger blade. But as you can see, you can do feathers with this. Now let's see if we can get some notches going. Maybe a notch. I'll go in the same area. Bring it up. Get better support. And what's nice, because you have that cutting area right up here close, that allows you to get close to where the balance point is. And it's got a thick enough spine, you can get both thumbs on there to push if you wanted to use this technique. There are many, as the saying goes, there are many techniques many ways to skin a cat. Now this isn't the world's best notch by any stretch of the imagination, but it's going to give you an idea that you can definitely notch with a kukri and with one of these kukris. And one of the things I'm going to point out here in this notching is that I got a nice smooth area here, which means I'm cutting this wood. I'm actually planing it to put this notch in here. So this will notch, and where I'm utilizing, I have my finger behind the guard here, thumb up on the top, and I'm pushing in and letting this part of the blade do the planing. So it's It's not difficult. I don't feel a lot of this going back and forth, which is good. I'm able to maintain and keep good control with this blade. Alright, I'm going to go with the K-Tact Kukri. Now, I think to keep this video, since we're doing a little bit more detailed stuff, the Heavy Duty Kukri and the K-Tact Kukri in this task and function will perform exactly identical, because the areas that I'm going to be utilizing are exactly the same on both blades. So I'm just going to use the K-Tact Kukri for this, for applying a feather, to see if I can feather stick with this, you know, create some feathers. Now this is a heavier blade, and because of that, it does dig in really well, and it's going to be great for notching. It's a little bit more cumbersome, and you know, and applying a different technique, like maybe drawing the material towards you, you know, this way is going to be better for this blade than trying to push cut like I'm doing right now in creating the feathers, because once this gets going, you've got the weight behind you that's harder to put the brakes on. So now I got my index finger on the flat part of this where it is not sharp. Again, thumb on the spine, where the weight is. I'm a little bit more in the center part of that weight, so I have better control. But even with this kukri, I can feel more handle heavy. Let me get the Heavy Duty Kukri, which is heavier in that handle, go in the same spot. And again, I can feel the weight very much in the handle. And even though now the area here seems to be a little bit longer on the K-Tact Kukri than it is on the Heavy Duty Kukri. The sharp edge comes up a little bit closer to your finger, so you have to think about that where you're placing your index finger. But I do have it in front like this, thumb on the spine, and I'm again planing. And you know, if you're pulling the material towards the blade, it's not as bad, you know, for this particular kukri. So technique, you know, adjusting your technique to suit the blade will get better results. But if I'm pushing it, I can really feel the weight in the handle, even though I'm at the center where the balance is. And I'm getting some feathers, some curls, not a lot, but you know, part of it's probably my technique too. But it is planing the wood. It's very smooth right here. So we'll do a little bit of notching, and then we'll go on to Siddha, and then we'll wrap it up. Okay. Get a good notch area to go into. Where I want it to be. There. And again, this is doing a good job. It's planing the wood, but again, I'm feeling the weight, so I can feel the stress in my arm up here trying to hold this blade while I'm pushing and trying to do, you know, manipulate this notch. If I had to do a lot of tent stakes, I might really feel it more with this kukri. for the lack of time, I think this demonstrates the beginning of a notch so that you can see, again, planing, and I'm able to be able to do it with this kukri going up close like this with this method. Whether you're, excuse me, whether you're pulling the material towards you or whether you're going this way, when you're going this way, you're going to feel it more in the balance issue. So adjusting your method can be dictated by the blade you're using. Okay, so on this one, let's see, this is Siddha Kukri by Work Tough Gears. And try to get in here and create some feathers. And it's doing a good job. What I like about it, like in this case, holding this wood down and allowing a cutting motion, I'm able to peel my feathers, and I can, I have good control. I have my finger on the finger notch, thumb on the spine, and I'm pushing. Now I could do pull as well, doing the pulls, which is probably a more effective and better method. But here you can see I've got some good curls going on doing the feather with this up close. Now let's do a notch. Let's see. Go here. Find a good spot to go. All right. I think I forgot how to do notches. It's been so long since I've been camping. You always want to start that line which you're going to plane into, and I forget that. I forgot that in the beginning, so my apologies. So again here, nice and smooth, and got the beginning of a good notch there. Hopefully you can see that. So all four kukris will notch and will plane the edge. It will be able to create feathers fairly well, and they chop extremely well. So in conclusion, what do I say about this? Well, stay tuned for the last video, because I think this one is a little bit on the long side and I don't want to run out of tape. So with this, at least you were able to see in 4 demonstrations how each of these kukris will perform, and I gave you a little bit of feedback of what I was feeling while I was doing them. Of course, the most comfortable that I found in my hand doing all the tasks would be the Cold Steel Kukri and the Work Tough Gear Kukri, because the weight and balance is better in both of those kukris than the Condor tool and knives. That's just the whet your appetite as far as a little bit of feedback of what I experienced just doing these 4 videos. So please like and subscribe on my YouTube page, and leave any comments and questions there or requests. Also visit my Facebook page, of Blue Dragonfly Trading Post, and leave me comments and questions and suggestions there as well. And please visit my website at dragonflykukriandknives.com. Thank you. Now stay tuned for the last and final video, where I will talk about my experience in using these and give you my feedback to help you consider as to which of these tools are going to be best in your kit, and that meets your philosophy of use, because all of us have a different philosophy of use of how we will be using these kukris. Thank you very much. God bless and namaste.